How's it going, YouTube? I know it's been a while since I made a video. I've just been really busy and hadn't really had a chance to sit down and record anything, but I got some time today and I have a watch that I've had for a little while, but haven't really talked about or showed any videos of on my channel. So, as you can see from the box, it is a Tag Heuer, and I'd just like to kind of do a quick review and give some of my thoughts on this particular model. Um, Tag Heuer is kind of a polarizing brand. It's it's got kind of a questionable history as like a serious manufacturer, but I really like the aesthetic of a lot of their models. And even though most of their watches are kind of big for my taste, the Carrera chronograph, which is what I have here, um, is a favorite, and I think it's really an icon in terms of sport watches. So this is the Carrera 1887, Calibre 1887, in the silver dial. This is a 41 millimeter watch. It's on the bracelet in stainless steel. Let me get it off the pillow here. So part of the reason I purchased this watch was I own a vintage Carrera, and I just have a lot of respect for the model and its place within the history of Heuer, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of have a modern version to compare my vintage version to. And I think I still prefer the vintage over modern, but I definitely have a new respect for this watch. I don't own any other Tag Heuers, and I know there's a lot of Tag haters out there, but I really think that's a result of their marketing and their perception with some of their lower end models. But I think that this particular watch really stands up to any comparable models in terms of price point. So this is, I think, version 2 of the dial. When this watch came out, there was a couple different dial variations, and I think this is the second one where they changed the tachometer and they put this silver ring around the chronograph scales, which I don't know if I really like, but um, it it's kind of grown on me over the last couple of months. You can see the movement in the back. That's another thing is Tag doesn't really get any credit for finishing of movements as far as I can tell on the forums, but I found it to be, um, you know, kind of up there with Nomos or maybe even Omega in terms of finishing. It's not going to be like a JLC or a Glashute original or something like that, but I think it's in that next tier down. You can see the cool column wheel chronograph. So I guess you can't really talk about the 1887 without mentioning the issue with the in-house movement. That I guess the model the plans for the movement were purchased from Seiko at one point, and a lot of people question whether or not that means it's in-house. I really don't care about that type of thing. I mean, I enjoy movements in general, and I think it's cool to have watches with different movements, but whether they design it in-house or manufacture it in-house, I don't really, it doesn't add anything to the watch as long as it's a good quality movement and it looks nice and it feels nice to the touch, which this definitely does. I've had a bunch of chronographs over the years, and this one is probably the nicest in terms of the movement. The pushers are just super smooth. It just, it feels elegant. Even the winding and the setting of the date, the time, like it just feels super secure. There's no play with the crown. I guess a lot of manufacturers kind of have good quality watches, and I don't claim to be an expert, but I definitely was kind of surprised by the quality and the finishing of this watch when I actually got it. I don't know, like a lot of people, I do a lot of watch purchasing online, so there's always a little bit of surprise when you get it and you open it up. There's a good shot of the movement. So overall, I think it's a great watch, and I really enjoyed wearing it. I don't know if it's necessarily a keeper in terms of my collection because it's a little large for my tastes, and more so than the size, the weight. You know, it's a good hefty watch. At 41 millimeters, it's I think 15 millimeters thick, but with the bracelet on there, it's got some weight. It looks great on the wrist, and I love the presence, but I'm not sure if I can take the weight for the long term. But that said, I think it's an awesome watch, and I really don't understand why there's so much criticism against the brand. You know, for people who are into watches and are objectively reviewing them or even just kind of perceiving them, I think Tag has a bad rap. So really, that's all I had to say about this Tag Heuer Calibre 1887. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thanks.